Oh, we are live, baby.
Woo!
You're listening to the Podcast Detroit Network. Visit www.podcastdetroit.com for more information.
I said, hey, welcome to the Man Cave Happy Hour. I said, hey, welcome to the Man Cave Happy Hour. We're gonna drink a fine whiskey and smoke a really fine cigar.
All right, it is time for Happy Hour. It is the Man Cave Happy Hour. Whiskey, cigars, it's the stories that go along with it. I'm Jay Flanagan.
I am still Matt Fox.
And this is a very impromptu
You know, it kind of is.
Man Cave. We were like, I gave Matt a little jingle, ringle. I don't know.
What did you do?
Give you a little ring-a-ding-ding.
Okay, what
that's a little cool. I gave you a little ring-a-ding-ding earlier.
Can you do that one more time?
Ring-a-ding-ding. And I was like, hey, Matt, how about we head up to one of our favorite haunts?
Yep.
Ambassador Cigar.
Being that it's just after the Halloween season, all candy was 50% off, so I hope you took advantage of that. But we're still at our favorite haunt here at the Ambassador Cigar in Troy, Michigan. So thanks for joining us on the face space and the socials. So
we decided let's do a little man cave. And because I was reading an article and I was like, hey, we should do that cocktail on a man cave. And then I was thinking maybe we could do that tonight.
All right.
I don't know. Perhaps.
Which article were you reading? Do you remember?
I was in a little magazine. My ankle itched there. It was really weird. Well, because I mean, you know, people listen to podcasts and watch these whenever, right? They come across them, they find them whenever, wherever.
Right.
But today it's November 3rd.
Yeah.
Today's November 3rd.
That's a big day, apparently,
and,
from my understanding.
It's election day in these
call it what it is.
United States of America. And so people have been to the polls. It's all about the polls and the election. And hallelujah.
What are you drinking
The commercials
tonight?
are going to end. Yeah, you know. So, you know, it's like watching political commercials are, in my opinion, like stepping on a rusty nail.
Okay. Wow, that was really good.
See how I brought that all together?
That was good.
See how I operate?
So, all right, so that beautiful segue, but I have to ask you.
Okay, fair play.
The number of campaign ads you received in the mail, the most in one day.
Oh my God. I was probably about 15.
Yeah.
10, 15, somewhere in that range.
If you go through.
And they were big too. They were.
Yeah, they're like large pieces of cardboard cutout.
That's it's nutty. It's nutty.
Yeah.
And I was kind of, because it was such a beautiful day out today.
Yes.
And it's going to be beautiful the rest of the week. I was like, I wish I had saved all the campaign mail, junk mail that I got, so I could do a bonfire. It would be fun. It would have been fun to.
That would have been fun. Yeah.
Do a little TikTok video of burning campaign.
Actually, I still have quite a few of them back at the house, so
you know,
I can make that a reality for you.
Next
4 years from now, maybe
4 years,
All right.
more years, 4 more years, whatever. You know, 4 more years without campaign ads until the midterms,
right?
And then the gubernatorials.
They're
the
always
gubernatorial is going to be kooky too.
They're always campaigning. Just saying.
So
always get that knock on your door.
But yeah, I didn't get any door-to-door traveling salesmen.
I got one.
Yeah.
One when I was home. I don't know how many showed up when I was home.
I usually when they come, I usually strip down naked.
Really?
Until you just get a towel, and then it's like, yeah, hi.
Hey, come on in.
Oh no, I can talk.
Come on in.
Is that weird? Is that weird?
Want a beer?
Weird?
Man, it's 8 o'clock in the morning.
Is it hot in here? Is
Scotch?
So yeah, no. But I didn't get any traveling door-to-door salesmen this year. I didn't encounter them. I don't know if Colleen got any.
No.
I pity the food that knocks on the door when she's working from home. Holy crap. But I said it's like watching campaign ads, it's like stepping on a rusty nail.
Yeah, that's really funny you say that, because that article that you're referring to earlier, it was on a specific drink, I believe, and it was a Scotch-based drink.
It was, and so I was in an email, whatever, and I got connected to the Whiskey Advocate.
Ah, nice. Okay.
And Whiskey Advocate, they get good articles and good information on the Whiskey Advocate, and there was a cool recipe. And it said essential whiskey cocktail. And I'm like, oh, you go, okay. What is an essential whiskey cocktail? And it said the Rusty Nail.
Okay.
So Brittany Risher wrote this article back in May. Just finding it now. So thank you, Brittany. But it's a Scotch-based drink.
Okay.
And we normally, I mean, we're open to any spirits on the Man Cave. We drink just about anything.
Wouldn't be a proper man cave.
We do a lot of whiskey. We do a lot of bourbon.
Yep.
But we've done a fair amount of vodka.
Yes.
We like our gin, brothers.
We do.
I was messaging Adam earlier today.
Mr. Von Gutken.
Yes, he was doing a photo shoot, and I was like, looking good. We need a Man Cave gin party. And so, it was like saying hi to him. But we haven't really done Scotch and Scotches. We did whiskey in the winter.
Right,
and we
did the Oban.
Stumbled into
I think we did Oban and Talisker Scotch.
We stumbled into some Scotch at the end of the.
That's the perfect time to stumble into it, isn't it?
We were drinking like heavy at the whiskey in the winter, and then to have the Scotches last. But we had. I think that's about one of the only times we've ever really played with Scotch on the Man Cave.
I think you're not wrong.
So. But I want to do some more Scotches and talk about some Scotches and that's a whole nother world. That's a whole nother rabbit hole to go down.
It's a whole different palate, really.
Yeah.
Because it's very different from your mature bourbons and whiskeys and what have you. It's even more of a mature palate that you would need to have on the Scotch side.
Yeah.
Scotch,
I get in trouble when I do Scotch.
Well, who doesn't?
Tequila makes my pants fall off. Scotch just gets me into trouble. Scotch just gets me into trouble. That's a country
song. Tequila, please.
That's a. You want to see my pants come off? What are you, a politician at my door? That's a throwback.
Yeah, a little bit.
All right. So here's Brittany's article from the Whiskey Advocate talking about the origins of the Rusty Nail, the Scotch-based drink. May not sound appealing, right? Because Scotch has got a very demanding, a very profound profile.
Robust.
Very profound, very robust profile. There's some serious taste going on. And you're like, why would you use something that's that robust as a base for a mixed drink?
I get a very, for me, okay, go on.
And so that's the question. It's for you, what?
Oh, for a Scotch, I always think of, very leathery feel.
Okay.
When I think of Scotch.
Okay, really?
I get a leathery feel out of it, but peaty also comes to mind a little bit when I drink Scotch. It can be very peat intensified.
Sure.
So
it may not be the most appealing drink, but the Rusty Nail is an approachable drink, even for those who tend to shy away from using Scotch as a base for cocktails. So what you mix it with, Drambuie,
which is Gaelic, is derived from the Gaelic, Gaelic meaning the drink that satisfies.
Ooh, I did not know that.
Actually, when you said we were doing that, I kind of did a little little history lesson here myself. So
all right. So, but you got the Scotch base, but you have the sweet honey and heather of Drambuie, and it tames that robust flavor of blended Scotch, and it creates a slightly sweet herbal cocktail that finishes with just a hint of peat and smoke. And that's according to, and this is like small world crap here, right?
Right.
Brittany is quoting a bartender from the Red Phone booth in Atlanta, Leo de Rivera. And I believe we talked to Leo when we were doing our Tuesday whiskey dilios.
Oh my gosh!
Right? I think we talked to the cast from the Red Phone booth. I'm 99% sure we talked to Leo.
Wow.
Was one of the bartenders we talked to. So he was quoted in this article. I'm like, all right, we got to do this drink.
Yeah.
So we got to do this drink now. So the cocktail's exact origins are a bit cloudy, although it certainly didn't exist before the debut of Drambuie. Scotch-based liqueurs flavored with honey and spices and herbs were found around the turn of the 20th century. Most historians point to the British Industries Fair in 1937 for the debut of the combination of Scotch, whiskey, and Drambuie. The head bartender at the Columbia Room quoted, "The cocktail, which was dubbed the BIF, contained bitters at the time.
Ooh, interesting.
But new incarnations of the Rusty Nail do not include bitters." Excellent. So some attribute the Rusty Nail to a recipe of bartenders from the 21 Club in New York.
Yes.
They similarly proportioned cocktail called the B&B. It was a split between cognac and Benedictine liqueur.
Yes.
But it's uncertain if that was its true origins of the Rusty Nail. But by the mid-20th century, in the early 1960s, it was endorsed by Gina McKinnon, the chairwoman of the Drambuie Liqueur Company. So in 1967, the recipe appeared in Old Mr. Boston Deluxe Official Bartender Guide.
Right.
So back in 1967, it appeared in the Bartender's Guide.
Yeah.
So it called for equal parts Scotch and Drambuie, but today's version tends to be a little drier. With a drink so simple, you can adjust the ratios until you find the combination you like. And so that's the thing. And one of our favorite bartenders, Tara, she says that, right?
Yes.
She plays with recipes, when she's making us Manhattans, and old fashions,
however,
adding those bitters, and she says she goes heavier on the bitters, and I found that I've been doing that at home, and I found it to be a richer drink that way. And so play with the combinations. And so the Rusty Nail, so it used to be a 50-50 split.
Right.
Common recipes now call for a slightly different mixture. So picking your whiskey, they suggest a blended Scotch, like a Dewar's.
Right.
Because you don't want to go too crazy and have too expensive of a Scotch,
right?
Because you're mixing it
mixing
anyway.
It up, right?
So, but Dewar's is usually pretty good. Or Compass Box Great King Street Gaslow Blend. That one's good too. So,
actually, I was looking at this this article from Liquor.com by Dale DeGroff, and he actually said that lore has it that the Rat Pack was enamored with this drink in themselves,
with the Rusty Nail,
Rusty Nail.
I can see that.
Yes, Dean, Frank, and which was probably why they were responsible for the wide appeal in those years. In the 1970s, mixed Rusty Nail at joints that he worked at in New York. They were also hit at PJ Clark's, which was actually a favorite late night haunt of Frank Sinatra.
Oh, okay.
PJ Clark's. So
that's my favorite meme. Is you might be cool, but you'll never be Frank Sinatra cool. Stepping out of a helicopter with a glass of whiskey. Cool. I'm like,
amen to that.
I'll never be
ever
be that cool. But so the Rusty Nail recipe nowadays is calling for 2 ounces of a blended Scotch whiskey, 3/4 of an ounce of Drambuie, and garnish with a lemon twist. It's just that simple.
It is simple.
It's just that simple. They're suggesting add the ingredients in a mixing glass and then the ice, but add the ingredients first, give it a little stir, then add the ice, and stir till chilled. Plus, so about 15 to 20 revolutions. 15 to stir. It's a stir. It's a stir. So
that's a lot of revolutions.
So strain it over fresh ice in a chilled rocks glass. So here's the thing: you should have your glass, the physical ultimate glass, as cold as possible.
Right out of the freezer. Yeah.
So a lot of times bartenders will fill a glass with ice and fill it with water and let it sit while they're doing their mix.
Right.
Then they'll dump that, put fresh ice in, and then strain the cocktail in. So, like I said, we're here. So that's their traditional. There's a lot of other little things. You can adjust the recipe. You could add bitters. A lot of different ways of doing it and playing with it. So we'll post a link to the Whiskey Advocate article.
Please do.
On that, and thank you to Brittany for making us think of that. So
excellent.
And we're gonna pour one of those up. We're gonna call Allison over here. We're here at the Ambassador. We have a mixologist on hand to mix us up. She sounded really excited about the idea earlier.
Thoroughly excited. Yes. She want us to do what?
She was gonna what? Not me again.
Actually, yeah, she has been on the show.
We did make her pour something else for us, I do believe. So,
yes, it was.
So we'll scare up Allison. We'll drag her over here and ask her to pour us. Or she catches a break in the action.
Sure.
And then we're gonna. But when we're done with that, we got even more. We got a surprise coming. We got cigars coming.
Right.
And we have a big surprise about it. So I'm just gonna say it's an Asylum. It's from the Asylum brand cigars. And because I asked Sean, I'm like, Sean, we're gonna do a cocktail. We're gonna mix it up. It's gonna be a Scotch-based cocktail. What would you suggest? And he goes, we got one. It's special. It's from Asylum. It's a special Devil's Night release. And again, like I said, we're here the 3rd of November. So it was a special Devil's Night release that just came out. He said this will pair well with it. But we have an extra special surprise about the Asylum cigars.
Yeah, that was a surprise for me this evening too.
So that's a big surprise coming up. Matt, you want to run over and ask Allison if she's got a break in the action? She could bring us a couple. goes to grab that, excellent. So yeah, loving the Ambassador Lounge, and we got the Asylum. It's the Devil's Night cigars. I'll pull one of these bad boys up. These are good. The skull on that is just fierce. It's just a super cool logo on that. Ambassador cigar, and they can you can order these on their website, and not the cheap plug and everything. Sean didn't ask me to do that, but we just come in here and crash the place. So yeah, they are available if you're a fan of the Asylum brand cigars. This is a special one available here, so you want to try to get that through their website because it's a very limited supply. So some of the other variations on the Rusty Nail, so putting the ingredients in the glass first and then adding the ice. That way it doesn't splash away any of the drinks, and it doesn't dilute quite as much. So it's a strain over fresh ice, right? Don't just use the ice that you stirred with. It's always a good idea to pour it over fresh ice, and so that new ice will melt more slowly, and your drink will last longer. Not that drinks tend to last that long in my glass. So some people suggest lowering the amount of Drambuie to only a 1/4 ounce instead of 3/4 ounces, but I'm happy to see. I'm curious what she's going to come up with.
I'm curious. I'm happy to see that. Yeah, I'm curious to see that people are still watching. You just talk to yourself.
Yeah,
that's it. That's amazing.
I'm telling them about the variations on that.
I just had a fun experience over at the bar.
Oh yeah, did we?
Yes. The question was if you she was trying to negotiate something out of me, and I didn't negotiate very well.
Oh, fair play. Yeah. Right on. I like it.
So
doesn't involve answering the door in a towel, hopefully.
Come on in.
Good. All right. So she said she was going to come on over once she got done with that.
Okay.
Is she? Is she coming?
I'm hoping so.
Oh. We may have to go get our drinks up there.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not a very good negotiator, so.
Oh, she's not coming?
Maybe not. It's possible.
Not. Oh.
I don't know.
Oh.
It's still up in the air.
Okay.
Because that's the whole beauty.
Well, we'll get a cocktail regardless.
We're going to get a cocktail. Yes.
Yeah.
We're going to get Rusty Nails regardless.
I want her to come over here and mix it here.
I get that. But some of us aren't as some of us have great faces for radio.
And it's what I want.
It's all about Jamie, isn't it?
Should I start screaming? Allison, Allison. We get to sit here and make a spectacle until she decides to come over. Sean would be totally down for it. Sean, he lets us get away with crap in his bar. I don't understand. I would have thrown us out months ago.
You want to do what in my place?
I know. Oops, dropsies.
Oh, man.
So the Man Cave Happy Hour, appreciate people hanging out,
yeah,
and doing that. If you haven't done so, it is an audio podcast. You can subscribe to the audio version of it. If you're listening to the audio version and just listening, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. If you are a subscriber,
did you say hi to Raven?
We love you,
Raven popped in and said hi. So
who was it? Okay, there.
Yeah, so there's Raven. So hi, Raven. Thanks for popping in.
Yep.
Saying sup, boys.
Hey.
I like how they spelled boys. B-O-I-Z.
We're probably gonna open this up after we're done doing like the episode.
Yes.
We're probably gonna just open it up and put the link out. So if anybody wants to jump in and join us in the chat,
yeah,
that they can, and then we'll talk about politics and religion and all the kind of stuff that you're not supposed to talk about. I got my political shirt on.
You do.
Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah, I saw that when I walked in. I'm like,
I was grabbing someone with an American flag on it. I'm like, oh, don't be a total dipwad. And then I have my Man Cave Happy Hour shirt, and I'm like, nah, you don't want to. Oh my god,
is she coming?
Yeah, she's coming.
I say, my back is to the bar.
You can come over here. You can just whatever. Yay!
Hi everybody.
Oh my god.
My name's Allison. I'm a bartender and certified tobacconist here at Ambassador Cigars and Spirits in Troy.
Leave that word. All right. You're good. All right.
I'll just do this.
Yeah, just do it. Okay. All right. So we're going with Glenmorangie.
Yes, I had this one for the first time yesterday, and I really liked it.
Yes.
It has some fruity flavors, so I feel it'll pair well with our Drambuie.
We did do scotch with the Glenmorangie.
Yes, we did. We did Ardbeg and
the
Glenmorangie with Cameron,
God, yeah.
Mr. Cameron George.
Cameron George, he's like the national brand rep, and we were able to sit with Cameron. So he'll be super excited that we're doing it with Glenmorangie. So, how do you? So what's your mixture on the? Yeah.
Okay, so today I'm going to do 1.5 ounces of Glenmorangie.
1.5 ounces of Glenmorangie. And that's the proper saying of it too.
Is it? Do I say it correctly?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to do 3/4 of an ounce of Drambuie.
Which again is Gaelic for, what did I say? Spirit that satisfies?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Wonderfully satisfying. All right, and so you poured them into the mixer neat.
Yes, neat first. Then I'm going to add my ice. Ice to your preference. I prefer a little bit more. Give it a nice stir. And that is a rusty nail cocktail.
That's it.
That's it.
Wonderful. So we're looking for a pair of those.
A pair of those? Okay.
All right.
Perfect. I'll be right back with one more. All right.
And you don't have to do it again.
Yeah, no, you can just if you want to.
Okay,
yeah.
perfect.
I got it. Thank you, Allison.
No problem.
The bestest. Oh, that was worth the price of admission right there.
Oh,
She left her jigger.
yeah. I'll
Take her jigger back to her.
Take the jigger.
All right. There you go. All right, that was great. So she did. The mix was a little smaller, so it was 1 ounce and 3/4 for the opening, and then the 3/4 for the second half of it. She got all nervous and left without the jigger.
Yeah.
So
If I had a nickel for every time someone left their jigger, I'd have 5 cents.
all right, so I'm gonna wait,
Oh, you're gonna wait?
and I'll wait till she
Okay.
gets you yours. I don't know if you want to jump up there and grab her. She'll probably bring it. She's awesome. So yeah, like we mentioned, it's political. So the election results are on, and people are starting to file in and look
Yes,
at it.
they are.
Ramo, is that
Yes.
the cat's name? Ramo. They have entertainment here at the Ambassador.
Right.
He plays like this crazy 40-string guitar.
He actually invented it himself.
It's nuts.
Yeah. So he plays every note you could possibly imagine. Thank you, Allison. Cheers. Yeah. So yeah, it's just an amazing guitarist back there.
Yeah, it is. It's a very unique. It's not 40 strings, but it's
a lot.
like a crazy 12 or 18 strings, some kind of crazy that he can play like bass notes and whatever. So, but it's some live entertainment. He plays a few of the cigar bars around here.
Yeah,
I think
he's
this
here.
was his first one.
No, he's here at Ambassador one night a week, and I believe he's at the Godfather as well.
Yeah, yep.
As well. So he plays out there too.
Yeah, plays a bunch of places. So this is it looks pretty. It's got that scotchy look to it.
It's got the scotchy
That
look, and
yellowy.
a little bit cloudy, as you had mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Kind of sweet on the nose too.
Ooh, yeah.
'Cause I think that's more the Drambuie that's coming
Sure,
out is
yep.
the sweetness, because that honey and the herbs that you're getting out of that the Drambuie.
Yeah, a lot of sweet on the nose.
Yeah.
For the cocktail.
But if you mix, anything that you mix that's bitter, and then mix it with something that's sweet, you're going to get a good concoction. You're going to get a good mix between the two, I think.
Yeah.
Like right down the middle.
All right. So the people that are joining us, Wayne, checking in.
Oh,
Hey,
what's
dude.
up, buddy?
Raven. We are at a cigar bar.
Yes.
Raven. It's the Ambassador Cigar in Troy, Michigan.
Yep.
And well, cheers, brother.
Ooh. Wow.
Sweet with
Very
a,
sweet.
a peaty finish.
Wow. I have never had a rusty nail before.
No,
Not
I could
gonna-
see.
not gonna lie.
I could see how Frank and Dino would be digging on this.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see why they would want to sit down and they were enamored with this. Oh my gosh, that's great. I need to.
Oh, there's smoke. There's some post smoke flavor in there as well.
After the second, third
Yeah.
sip, you start to get more that the sweetness starts to go away, and then as it's resting on your palate, you're starting to get that Scotch feel.
It's like a candied Scotch.
Yeah, it just rests on this, and you still feel sweet, but it's not biting at all.
Right.
It's not like biting your face; it's just laying in the back of your.
And from what I remember when we were doing the Glenmorangie, that was like the 12-year blended, I think, is what that looked like.
It looked like it, yeah. So Cameron, Mr. Cameron George, if you see this at one point in time, reach back out to us. We'd love to have you come back into the Man Cave as well.
Yes.
Just kind of do a little virtual social, because he's been doing a lot of pairings between food and Scotch himself. So I would love to talk him up a little bit about that.
That is it. So get right on it. So like I mentioned, I had mentioned to Sean, I'm like, we're going to do a Scotch-based drink.
Yeah.
I want a cigar. And he said, you got to try an Asylum, our Devil's Night one. Can you grab that box? Grab the box. There it is. Yeah, Smoke the Night Away. The Devil's Night from Asylum. And kind of interestingly, coincidentally enough, that the owner of Asylum Cigars,
Mr.
Tom Lazuka.
Tom Lazuka, yeah,
is here tonight. We did not know that. Sitting down, we did not know.
Okay.
And I don't know, maybe but Sean's been enamored with these cigars.
Has he?
He's been talking them up on the socials since the release, and he's always a big advocate for the Asylum cigars. So we were going to have Tom Lazuka pop over, and tell us why the Devil's Night and an Asylum cigar. What is this blend, and why it's going to pair with a rusty nail.
Educate us.
So we're going to get Tom Lazuka on
now
with us.
Let's see if we get him. Let's grab Sean to go grab him.
Yeah, Sean you could bring him over. So Matt's going to grab Tom, and we're going to dive into these Devil's Night cigars. So if you're interested, you can always Google Ambassador Cigar Troy. They were selling them on the line, so you can order remotely. If you're so interested, once we talk to Tom here, get the 911 or the 411. I'm already sliding. I'm sliding into shenanigans. So we're gonna move the camera so we can see Tom when he joins us, because you guys don't need to see us. So Matt's grabbing Tom to bring him over to join the conversation. We just hope we're not getting blasted out by the guitar. So this one will need a little editing, but it's all right. Woo.
Right around the corner there.
Yeah. Tom, how are you doing? Jamie, good to meet you.
Make some intro. Thank you, Sean. Appreciate you bringing Mr. Lazuka with over here. We only have 3 mics. You want to pop in here too?
Well, yeah, like I said, I sat down. I said, hey, Sean, we're having a Scotch-based cocktail. What would you suggest to go along with the Scotch-based? So we're doing a rusty nail, which is Scotch and Drambuie. And he goes, we just got this new one from Asylum, Devil's Night, and it's on Devil's Night, and it's the Devil's Night cigar. And I'm like, all right, we'll do that. And he goes, I got the owner back here too. So Tom Lazuka, thanks for being in the Man Cave. So Tom, tell me about your childhood.
So, born and raised in the Detroit area. Born at Oakwood.
The closer we are to that, the better it's going to be.
Born at in Oakwood Hospital in Dearborn, Michigan.
I like it. I like getting right back to the basics.
Grew up, went to Allen Park High School in Allen Park and Wayne State University.
Oh, yeah. Warriors, me too.
Then, Tartar.
Yeah.
Tartars back in the day.
Tartars
back in the day.
Yeah.
But
I'm newer.
Started in the pizza business, had a few Jets pizzas.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
And got out of that business after about 8 years, and somehow found my way into the cigar business.
How long ago was that then?
That was 2001.
Oh, wow. So,
right.
So you've been doing this for a hot second
Almost
then.
20 years now.
Is this cigars are your life now? Cigars are
my life, yeah. So I was fortunate. We, like I said, I started with Calibri, spent a couple of years with Calibri, met the people at Camacho, got hired by them and worked with Christian Oroa basically till he sold the company, and he sold it in 2008 to Davidoff. So I went and worked with Davidoff and Camacho till 2012.
Right.
And then 2012, me and Christian started this company together.
Good for you guys.
So we've a little over 8 years now.
All right.
That's excellent.
So Sean recommended the Devil's Night cigar to go with this. Is there a particular place where you get most of your tobaccos, or do you go all over the place?
Well, wrappers will get in different places.
Yeah.
Depending on the brands, because we have Asylum, but we also have the CLE and the Aroa brands in Wynwood Hills. So Christian's family, in the sale to Davidoff, they did not sell the farms. So we have a 700-acre farm in Honduras where we grow most of our authentic Corojo tobacco, which is kind of the base of everything we do out of Honduras.
Wow.
And then we have a factory we partnered with in Nicaragua, in Esteli, that does a lot of the Asylum stuff. So
I was wondering if you had many or any ties to Nicaragua, because they're having a rough week. They're having a rough day.
Yeah,
are you keeping an eye?
Also.
Are there's like some nasty storms whipping through this week?
Yeah,
Any news?
No, just some rain right now.
Okay.
They say, and that's the biggest concern there. It's not really, we're like Esteli and Danley, Honduras, like where we are, where our factories and our farms are actually very close to each other. It's only a couple-hour ride.
Yeah.
The problem they have is the mountains usually protect. They're in mountain valleys, so the wind is usually not the issue. The problem is the mountains cause the storm to move very slowly.
Oh, okay.
So it's the rain.
Right.
So they're expecting almost 3 feet of rain, I believe, 35 inches in the next 2 days.
Jeepers.
That's not a good thing.
Yeah,
I heard that it was trouble for like coffee, because that's a big coffee region too.
Yeah,
and people at Starbucks are losing their damn minds.
Yeah, it's a huge coffee region. Yeah, absolutely, and
so I was worried.
So there's obviously concern for the people, and the biggest concern is the flooding.
Right. Okay.
So.
All right. So our fingers crossed for you and the folks there.
Thank you.
And that it goes quietly. So the Devil's Night. What can you tell us about this blend and the wrapper, and why it might pair well with a Scotch-based drink?
The cigar itself, we launched this project 5 years ago. And we did something with the fire department. We donated proceeds to the local fire departments in Detroit.
Right.
So we had a number of these cigars left over. So we decided to bring it back this year. We didn't do the fire department theme this year. We just brought back the blend. We had a number of these left. So in 2015, these were 3-year aged. So these cigars have additional 5 years on them. So
wow.
They're really, really smooth.
Okay.
So this cigar is basically 100% Honduran tobacco. It's an authentic Corojo wrapper with Honduran binders and fillers. So it definitely has some body. The nice part is smoking these, they kept the body. So they're still medium to full body.
Okay.
But they're very, very smooth all the way through. So you get some earthiness from it. You definitely feel it through the retrohale. You'll get more of the spice through the retrohale.
Sure.
Okay.
So I think it's a cigar that I think can pair very well with either richer things, because the earthiness, and depending on how you smoke your cigar. If you smoke through your nose, or if you just smoke through your
or
mouth.
steamroll it, yeah.
Yeah. I think it can pretty much fit everything, because it's not overpowering. It's not too much spice.
Yeah, that's one thing I was, since we started doing the Man Cave, we're almost 3 years into this.
Yeah.
I've always been a medium to light cigar type of guy. But as we've been doing this, I'm kind of finding myself focusing more on the more bold, the bolder cigars that are out there, because that's just, your palate developing in itself. So where does your palate lie when it comes to a cigar?
I tend to be in the medium to full body.
Do you?
Did
you work up to that, or is that something you just have always been that way?
I pretty much. I can't say right when I first started. Yeah. I didn't even know what I was doing. I'm inhaling them, and I'm like, oh,
inhaling.
Why am I feeling this way? But after,
I'm seeing vapor trails all of a sudden.
Yeah. But over time, I've really been fortunate enough, with Christian as my mentor in the industry and his father. His family has 105 or 106 years now in tobacco from Cuba to the U.S. And then his dad moved to Honduras in 1962. Nice. And so I was very fortunate when I started with Camacho to be invited to go to the farms and the factories. So I've been there over 100 times over the last 20 years.
My goodness. Yeah.
And really got to learn about the processes and everything. And what I find now, though, is as I'm working on blends with Christian and we're coming up with new projects and things, I inhale my cigars a lot.
Do you really?
Yes.
Okay.
Probably way more than I should.
All right.
But I tend, because I think when you really inhale a cigar, you can tell if it's been aged properly.
All right.
Because the ammonia and the nicotines are out of it if it's aged properly.
I have not heard that ever. I've never heard that inhaling a cigar you can actually taste that.
Yeah, but what you're getting more than taste, like a cigar that's underage, you'll definitely taste the ammonia if it's underage. You can smell it.
Okay.
But what I'm looking for is that nicotine kind of hit, because I think a lot of companies under ferment these days or ferment a different way.
Sure.
And because they're going for this body, which there's definitely a market for it, right? It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just they're trying to get that strength.
Right.
And sometimes the only way to do that is to ferment it less.
Okay.
So it tends to have more ammonia and nicotine in it. So I tend to kind of smoke my cigars, especially the big ring gauge stuff that we have, is I'm always just kind of really want to get a feel for the tobacco.
Gotcha.
Is it fermented, or because if it's not,
you're not getting that.
Feel it. I'm like, whoa, hey. So it's, but so I really probably inhale way too much, but
I don't inhale cigars,
so I can pretty much now, like I said, anything medium, full body.
Okay.
Doesn't hit me too strong.
Fair enough.
Now, is this a seasonal availability on these? Is it exclusive
to Ambassador here in Troy?
Yes.
And then we did it at a place called the Tinderbox in Dublin, Ohio.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
So we just did 2 stores. We did events last week, one on Thursday night, one on Friday night in Dublin.
Nice.
And so these are the only 2 stores in the country that you can get it from. So you can, I don't know Ambassador's website, so I could say you could
just Google
I'd like to give a little
Ambassador.
plug, but if you look it up, you can go to ambassadorcigars.com. I believe it is, but or just call Ambassador in Troy, Michigan,
There it
and
is.
they'll ship them out to you.
Yeah. They were because you guys did a little intro on Friday here on Devil's Night. I was watching you guys do the video live. That was fun. So that was pretty awesome. We want to cut these up and smoke them and try them with these. I want to flag down our waitress and get a cutter and
need a cutter real
lighter.
Quick. Be right back.
I've got a lighter.
Yeah.
Huh?
I got a lighter.
You got a lighter. We need a cutter.
Let me get a cutter.
All right, Matt's off to get the cutter. So the CLE brands and Asylum, where's the availability on those? Is it nationwide? Is it
worldwide? So we're in about 35 countries.
Holy smokes.
with the brands now, and obviously every country's a little different. They
Yeah.
don't carry everything,
right?
But the European and the world market has really expanded for us over the last few years.
Okay. Now, is there a proper for what would you recommend? The cut or a punch on the?
That's really preference. I personally just use my fingernail.
You really?
Yeah. So
Bite the end up.
After many years of expertise, I'm just too lazy to carry a cutter. I hate things in my pocket. So
That's fantastic.
I just use my fingernail and get.
Yeah, it's quite the punch you got going on there with your fingernail. Nice. See, I'm still new school, so I'll still do a cut or a punch.
Yeah, and a punch works fine. It's really preference, right?
Right. A lot of folks, they talk about the V cut, or they'll do these X. They'll do the V cut twice, type deal.
Sometimes I think that gives you, when you overcut it, you get almost too much air through it.
Okay.
And I like just enough to give you a little pull, a little resistance.
Okay.
Not where you're working on it, but just a little resistance. So if the cigar is, rolled properly and bunched properly, it should always give you a little resistance.
Oh, okay.
See, back in the day, you could make a joke about a little resistance, but you can't now.
That's right. We could have a lot of resistance by morning.
See, I hate the politically correct world because I just want to make sexist, nasty jokes. We'll leave it at that. And by saying that, I made a sexist, nasty joke.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited to hit this. I'm not going to inhale, though.
No, that's okay.
So our friend Wayne is watching, and he called you Edward Scissorhands because you got it with your fingers. He goes, okay, Edward Scissorhands.
Thanks, Wayne.
I like that. Oh, this is soft. It's
wow.
Yeah.
And a lot of folks, when the first time you have a cigar, something that we learned a number of times was, when you first start smoking a cigar, you're really not going to get the real flavor of it until you're maybe a third of the way in to that cigar, and that's when you start to really get those flavor notes and the tasting notes out of the cigar itself. So
and I think that's where, again, smoking retrohaling through your nose really makes a difference, because on your mouth, on your palate, you're only going to get 5 flavors. You get the salty, the sweet, bitter, and I forget all 5, but basically like 5. But the membranes in your nose, it's almost like wine, right?
Right.
When you're drinking wine, you start off, you're smelling it, right? You smell it and smell it, and what's that doing is the membranes in your nose are basically catching more smells than flavors, right?
Yeah.
Because you hear leather, you hear these things, and you're like, well, who eats leather? Nobody. So it really,
not the way I ride a horse.
yeah.
I eat leather and dirt.
Yeah.
So it thrown off a lot.
It ends up more relating to a smell, right?
Yeah.
And so with cigars are very similar to wine, where you do want to retrohale, blow some through your nose. Not every time. Like it's the same thing. Like at the beginning, halfway through, and maybe toward the end to see the changes of the cigar. See how it changes, because how you roll the cigar can be different. If you put the tips of the leaves at the foot, the tips are the strongest part of the leaves.
Right.
So you'll tend to get a little more strength, and then it mellows out. Or if you do it the other way, it just kind of builds to strength as you smoke it.
It's great.
If you have the tips at the head. So depending on how the cigar is bunched and put together, that also affects that. And what you really find, what you will have to get you is one of like the regular Asylum Corojos, which that's 3-year aged Corojo. So it's a similar blend of this cigar.
Just not aged as long?
Just not aged. The fillers are a little bit different, but different parts of the plant, but all Corojo.
Okay.
But what you'll see with that is with Corojo, you'll tend to, 3-year age, it'll be a little more throaty. It'll hit you kind of in the back of the throat at the beginning and then smooth out. Where when you smoke this cigar, there's no throatiness to it whatsoever. That age, like I said, all the ammonia, nicotine, the heavy nicotines have came out of it. And so now you're just really getting the tobacco, the smoothness of it. You get some earthiness. And then if you retrohale through your nose, you'll definitely pick up some of that spice from the cigar.
That's pretty. And it's with the Scotch and the mixed drink, the Rusty Nail itself, it's a sweet drink. It's bringing out, I don't know if there's sweetness in the cigar, but it's making a sweet smoke.
There's definitely, the Honduran tobacco has a natural sweet aftertaste. So I think you'll definitely it'll complement it, but not it's not an overly sweetness like a Maduro or something like that, where it's real rich. So I think the balance, like I said, when you get a Scotch and it has some peatiness to it, it doesn't exasperate the peatiness. It really kind of brings it keeps it where it's at instead of taking it over the top.
Yeah, this is a gorgeous cigar.
Thank you.
It really, really is. I really enjoy it. I'm only not even a quarter way in. I'm already enjoying this.
Yeah, thank you.
As I said, I've always been a medium type bodied cigar, but moving into the more full bodied, I can see what I've been missing now.
Yeah, and you can see like this is going to be very smooth at the beginning. It will pick up some body as you smoke, but it's not going to ever overpower you. It's not going to make you feel turn green from it.
Yeah.
It just, but you're going to definitely get body from it.
It's a beautiful, gorgeous cigar.
Bob wants to know how this would go after a round of golf. Bob Krause.
Bob Krause.
It'll go
Friend of the man cave,
fantastic,
yes.
Bob. Fantastic during a round of golf, also.
Yeah. Bob is actually doing going for the senior PGA.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's,
Congratulations.
He played and then was out of the game for a long time, and it was like a working, pro, and then he's heading back to the tour. He's like getting himself in shape.
Well, I might need some lessons, Bob. I'm heading to Arizona in the morning. I've got a bunch of events scheduled in Arizona and Scottsdale, Phoenix area this week. So, but I am bringing the clubs. We got a couple rounds scheduled. So.
No better place to talk cigars than on the course.
Absolutely. We'll get you guys connected on the Facebook there.
Well, Tom, we appreciate you hanging out. We'd love to do another night with you and pick a night when there's not a band.
Yeah.
We
No, anytime, guys.
No,
It's a pleasure to sit here with you and talk cigars.
It's a pleasure, man. Thank you so much for being
Thank you
here.
very much.
Yeah,
Thank you. All right.
Enjoy the evening.
Yeah, enjoy.
So things happen for a reason, right, Jamie? And kind of serendipitous that Mr. Lazuka just happened to be here.
Yeah.
And
well, he's local.
Yeah.
He's a local guy, and this is kind of his home base when he's around. So.
It's always good to have guests at the man cave.
It is. Absolutely.
Even
so
when we
was
didn't even try.
So it was nice. Yeah, it was nice that Bob gave me cigar lesson.
It sounds like a match. Yep. I'll let him know, Bob. Thanks, man.
All right. Well, we'll connect them. So that's it, man. That's Man Cave Happy Hour here from Ambassador Cigar. Please, thanks for joining us.
Like, subscribe,
leave a comment,
all that good stuff.
We appreciate everybody being there. I think we're gonna pause this episode. I think we're just gonna leave the camera up.
Okay, you're gonna leave it live.
Yeah, and then we're gonna leave it live. And then if anybody wants to, I'm gonna throw the link out there. And if anybody wants to join us, they can. I don't know how it's gonna work. We're gonna try.
We're gonna try this without getting Zoom bombed.
I don't know how this is gonna work. It's too loud in here.
It got a little bit.
I'm going to kill it.
All right. Hey, you know what, guys? Thanks for being here. Appreciate it.
There we go. And,
mancavehappyhour.com. Cheers. See ya.
That's the cheapest cigar, man.